I didn't play this game for more than an hour. Some of you may call that unprofessional. Well, screw you, I call that efficiency.
My longtime viewers and fans know that I do not anger easily. It takes a lot for a game to really piss me off. And when I suck at a game or if I think I was doing something wrong, I admit it and won't hold my lack of skill or knowledge against the game. And when the rare moment a game pisses me off and really pisses me off, it's not fake or staged anger, it's genuine. I had rented this game back when I got my Wii in 2007 and was the third game that I had ever rented for the system. The first being Super Paper Mario and the second being Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Both of those I played until I had to return them. Sonic and the Secret Rings I only played for about an hour and returned it the same day. A game has to be pretty bad and infuriating if you only play the game twice and only for an hour each time. A former friend of mine had bought this game on release day. I saw him play it, but I didn't really pay attention. It took him a good long while to beat the game, and I don't remember him ever saying anything bad about it. I remember him not caring for Sonic 06. After playing this game for the short time I did, I quickly traded it back to GameStop to avoid breaking it.
I don't think this game will ever get a third chance with me. I feel bad for my Wii U for putting this taint inside of it.
Sonic and the Secret Rings originally started out as a Wii port of Sonic 06. Already you can tell this will not end well. However, it was taking a long time trying to port the game. Producer Yujiro Ogawa, who worked on Sonic Adventure, had a basic idea of Sonic always moving forward and imagined it being compatible with the Wii. He thought that the Wii's codename, The Revolution, would be a good way to revolutionize Sonic and give people something they haven't seen before. They figured that the stories from 1001 Arabian Nights would be a good setting for the game. The game uses NVIDIA's PhysX engine, ironically using it on a system that uses, at the time, ATI technology. The in-development name was Hypersonic, then changed to Sonic Wildfire. Then Sonic and the Secret of the Seven Rings, and finally Sonic and the Secret Rings. Sega preferred Wildfire, but lamented that Secret Rings worked better because of the setting. Zachary Brown, the storyboard director, had thought that this game could put Sonic back on the charts once again.
Well, it's obvious he wasn't involved in playtesting, otherwise he would have jumped out the window screaming that they're fucked until he hit the pavement.
The graphics are not good for a Wii title. It looks more like your average PS2 game. That is not a slight against the PS2. After all, it had a lot of visually impressive games. It's just that the GameCube was technically superior to the PS2 in terms of hardware, and the Xbox was better than the both of them. And the Wii is running on slightly juiced up GameCube hardware. I would think that Sega would have tried a little harder, but considering that they failed to port Sonic 06, they may have just been scrambling to get the visuals done. The in-game animations don't look that good, ranging from unnaturally slow to choppy. But I do like the illustrations they use for the cutscenes. The music is, well, I really don't remember it actually. Sonic and Char talk over it all the time and you hear the game's main theme, Seven Rings in Hand, all the time. I think it's honestly the worst theme song in a Sonic game, mainly because it's played so much and you only hear the first line of the song on average. And the opening part of it sounds like gibberish because it's shouted and echoed. The voice acting is fine, although Razor Jin fluctuates from over the top to not even trying. I can understand he's trying to sound intimidating, but it really doesn't work sometimes.
And the controls are just wrong and stupid. It's games like this that prove that motion controls will never catch on, or at the least are still in their infancy and not ready for prime.
Sonic is always running. You have little control over how fast he can run. There is a break to make him stop by pressing the 1 button, or by tilting the Wiimote towards you to move Sonic backwards, which I found to be a total lie. You don't tilt it towards you, you have to turn it almost completely upside down. And Sonic nor the camera turn around, so you can't see where you're going. To jump, you need to press the number 2 button, but Sonic slides to a stop to charge his jump. Why does he need to stop to jump? That completely breaks the flow of the game. It's like those really bad NES platform games where you need to jump first, then press forward. To move Sonic left or right, you need to tilt the Wiimote left or right. But if you tilt it too far, the game will register the remote as upside down and Sonic will start moving backwards. And when you're grinding, jumping from rail to rail is the opposite. Flick the controller left to jump to the rail on the right, and flick it right to jump to the one on the left. At first, I thought this was a glitch, but I tried it several times with the same results. To use the homing attack, you need to hold jump, Wait for the green reticule to turn red, which is a pointless step to make the reticules change colors to let you know you can use it. Once it's red, you thrust the controller forward, and like Sonic 06, you have to wait for Sonic to recover before using the homing attack again. It's not as long, but the Adventure series still did it better. And sometimes it doesn't even respond to the controller's movements in any way, shape, or form.
This is a brand new, recently out-of-the-box controller that works perfectly fine with all my other Wii games. And if you're gonna say that you never had a problem with the controls for this game, you're a fucking liar.
We all know that Sega cut quality control when it came to Sonic 06, so you know they did it for this game as well, to shove it out the door. It just feels rushed and unrefined. Even the gameplay structure is horribly and poorly done. First, you have to go through the Lost Prologue, which is a bunch of tutorials, which I'm fine with, but the rest of it is just pointless missions. So I hope you like the chaotics in Sonic Heroes or doing the hero or villain paths in Shadow the Hedgehog, because that style of gameplay has returned. When a new area opens up, you're tasked with running through it for story purposes, but after that, you're tasked with doing missions. Collect a certain amount of rings, go through the stage without dying, finish the stage in under a certain time, kill a certain number of enemies, don't break any jars, break a certain number of jars, and so on and so on and so on. This is not a good gameplay structure for a Sonic game. It wasn't well liked in Sonic Heroes and was hated in Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't play a Sonic game to complete challenges. I play it because I want to run and platform through the stages. I don't like getting bogged down with the tedious task of doing stupid and pointless missions, of which there are 100 of them, for mind-numbing busy work.
At this point, how did no one at Sega look at this game and say, no, this is unacceptable. You're all fired and we're replacing you with monkeys, because if they can write Shakespeare, they can make a game.
They put in an experience system so you can level up your skill rings. The higher in level means the more skills you can put into it, and there's about 104 skills. Some use the soul gauge that you fill by collecting pearls. Why so many of them, and why are some of them so pointless? This is another case of quantity over quality. A ton of missions and a ton of skills, and most of it is pointless padding to lengthen the game. It's Shadow the Hedgehog all over again, where you need to do a lot of stuff just to get to the end of the game. Missions should be something you do on the side, not requirements to finish the game. I don't mind if the main story takes about an hour to complete as long as I'm having a good time. Then I'll use those missions to add replayability. Sonic Generations got this right, where you have the main stages that you can do to complete the game, but optional challenges to do to unlock bonus items. While yes, you had to do 3 challenges to unlock the boss gate, that's acceptable. It's not like this game where you need to do a much larger amount just to continue the next part of the story. Because you only control Sonic's left and right movements, he's always running on a predetermined path. So if you're one of those people that hates Unleashed, Colors, or Generations because you think Sonic is on a track or whatever excuse you have, then you will absolutely hate this game because he is on a track. And it's never been more obvious than he is on a track than it is here. It's so boring because all you do is tilt the controller and the only challenge is derived from hoping the game responds to the controller. Otherwise, you're going to get really pissed off and nearly break the game disc like I almost did.
And now we move on to story. If you want to avoid spoilers, skip to this part in the review. Sonic has to stop the bad guy. There. End of spoilers.
The 7 world rings are the 7 Chaos Emeralds, and Eraser Jin wants to take over the world by using their power, and wants Char to get them for him. But then threatens to kill her, and Sonic intercepts, and now he has to get them or he'll die. That is so stupid. Why kill the person who can get you the stuff you want? That's like killing the only person who knows the combination to a safe because they won't open it for you. Well, guess what? You're not getting it now, are you, dumbass? You just fucked up your own plan for world domination. And he has minions who have one of the world rings. What's this guy's deal? He's inhibiting his own plans. At least when Eggman realized his mistake of ejecting Sonic out of his space station with the 7 Chaos Emeralds in Unleashed, he played it off like he did it purposely and it was done for comedic effect. Eraser isn't doing it by mistake. He's doing it purposely, which shows immense stupidity on his part. Aside from the idiotic bad guy, there's some good humor that did make me laugh, like Sonic not taking anything seriously, or saving the king who is Eggman by catching him with his foot. Other than that, I don't really know much, nor do I care to know much, because I had to quickly trade this game in before it suffered the same fate as Bubsy 3D.
And I know what you're gonna say. You just have to get used to it. Well, I've said it once, and I'll say it again. You can get prison raped until your asshole's like a tube of circus peanuts. You won't feel it because you'll be used to it.
That's such a lousy defense. It's not so bad once you get used to it. Anything isn't so bad once you get used to it. If that's what you have to say, then I challenge you to take a stapler to your dick every day until you're used to it. Only then will I ever revisit this game. I have no idea how this game got the scores that it did. Maybe because it came out after Sonic 06 and people were just so happy to be playing something that wasn't that. And it was at a time when motion controls were new and anything using them was cool. Well, look at motion controls now. No one likes them, and Microsoft has been criticized for shoving Kinect down our throats when gamers have been very vocal about not wanting it. If games like Sonic Free Riders and that Steel Battalion Kinect have proven anything, motion controls need extensive testing before they're ready to be put into a game. You can't just slap them in and hope for them to work. This is especially true with third-party games because they didn't build the technology. They need to learn it. While motion controls have gotten better, they're more of a novelty now as most developers are abandoning them in favor for more traditional controls.
This may come as a shock to you, but I would much rather play Sonic 06 than Secret Rings because it all boils down to control.
While Sonic 06's controls are really sensitive, I can at least control where the characters can go and control their acceleration and deceleration more naturally and jump without breaking the flow of the game. Regardless if I'm used to it or not, it's just a more natural control scheme for a Sonic game. In fact, it's a more natural control scheme for any platform game. This game feels like an unfinished experiment. Even with a Wii Motion Plus controller, which is supposed to be an improved version of the Wii controller, doesn't really help. In fact, I think it made it worse. While the only game I've ever broken was Bubsy 3D, it was done for comedic effect. This game really had me rage because of the poor controls which make the game nearly unplayable. Well, pretty much unplayable, and I nearly broke the disc. From what I've read, Sonic and the Black Knight's gameplay is closer to Sonic Unleashed, which sounds promising because whatever Secret Rings was trying to accomplish, it just does not work for a Sonic game at all. But we'll see if Sonic and the Black Knight really is as bad as everyone says it is November 1st.
As for now, though, we all know what I thought about Sonic 06. And it's a lot better than this. Secret Rings is by far the worst Sonic game I have ever played.